Every question you're about to see as part of today's live NFL mailbag was done live. So if you want to be a part of them, you have to subscribe. That way you know once we're live and get the notification, all that good stuff. It's youtube.com/ChatSportsTV if you're watching somewhere else. If you're watching on YouTube, simply hit that big red button and subscribe today. And don't miss any of those we have for you guys here at Chat Sports. From Zach Walton, which second-year player do you think will improve the most? I mean, I want to say guys like Henry Rowe is going to have a major breakout year. And, players like Tua will have, huge second-year breakouts. Does Joe Burrow count in that? Maybe, maybe not. I'm trying to stick to first-round guys here. I hope Javon Kinlaw breaks out. I hope Kayvon Chasen, who was not great, ends up breaking out. As a dynasty owner, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I hope he breaks out. I think offense, those receivers in particular, are primed for a big year too. From Mike Dibble, where and when will Sheldon Richardson sign? I don't know. I will say within the next 2 weeks, he will have found a new team. I think Cleveland could be a fit for him still. Beyond that, it's been pretty quiet around Sheldon, so we're going to have to wait and see on that one. From Gary Sanderson, which late-round rookies could benefit from the preseason? I mean, in general, the answer is all of them. Like, those late-round guys last year did not get an opportunity to really emerge as options. I'll throw out some of my favorite late-round picks. I was a big fan of Deontay Brown of the Panthers. I think, what was his name? I just lost it. Elijah Mitchell to San Francisco. Really intrigued by that one. Cornell Powell in Kansas City. I think those skill guys, if they can make some splash plays in the preseason, are going to benefit quite a bit. From Nate Padilla, will the Seahawks have a chance for Sherman or for Steven Nelson? They have a chance, they do, but they got a lot of bodies in that cornerback room already, between Trey Brown, their fourth-round rookie, between, they kept DJ Reed, they kept Witherspoon, Demarius Randall, Ugo Amadi, Marquise Blair, and Trey Flowers, if I didn't mention him. They've got options, and Pierre Desir. So I think because they signed Desir, unless there's an injury, Seattle will not add a veteran corner. I wouldn't mind being wrong because I think they could still use some help, but it's a numbers game. There's too many guys on that team already. All right, it appears that attendance this year will be a little bit more full at NFL games this season. So are you going to go to an NFL game this year? Get your votes in. Type G for you're going to go, or type S for you're going to stay at home. Get your votes in right now. G for going, S for staying at home. From Scion, how much would you give for Richard Sherman? Depends on my salary cap construction. At this point, $214 maximum. Like, I don't think there's a lot of interest and desire to throw big money at Richard Sherman. So because of that, probably not that much. From C-Luck, what do you think Atlanta will do with Julio? I think we trade him. I mean, there's a lot of smoke around a Julio Jones trade. It's not what I would do, but if they are concerned that we have seen the best out of Julio, I think they could deal him. Peter King said 60-40. Feels about right to me. From Sam, thoughts on the Cardinals, #Red Sea. A lot of older guys they signed. J.J. Watt, A.J. Green. I think this is a critical year for Cliff Kingsbury. The guys they added were win-now guys. If Kingsbury and Kyler Murray do not win in 2021, I think some changes will be coming, probably at the head coaching spot. From Nehemiah Gonzalez, should the Patriots trade N'Keal Harry? I'm open to it. The problem I have here is what's the value for N'Keal Harry? Are there really that many guys out there who are going to be like, oh, yeah, we can go get him. Like, we'll give you a fourth-round pick? I kind of don't think so. I think because of that, it's more that they keep him in hope he ends up being better down the road. From Akash, what edge rusher in next year's free agency class could the Browns pursue? It's a great question. They will need some. TJ Watt will probably get re-signed. I'll throw out Von Miller. Possible. There was some interest this past year. Beyond that, maybe they gamble on like a Jason Pierre-Paul, a veteran. Emmanuel Ogbah. Well, probably not him. Actually, that's a dumb comment by me. Derek Barnett. I think Von Miller might be their most intriguing option long term. From Scion, team with the best offensive line. Good question. Cleveland lost some pieces this past year. I still think Green Bay's is really good. If they can fully replace Corey Linsley, and if the left tackle is healthy, Bakhtiari. When healthy, I think I'll go with Green Bay. Beyond that, I think the Browns' offensive line is actually really good too. From Neiman again, could the Patriots trade J.C. Jackson? I think the likelihood has gone down, but it is still possible. I think what is most likely, Jackson plays this year on his tender. He plays on that second-round tender and then leaves to go somewhere else in free agency next year. Now, I'm trying to get to 10,500 Twitter followers as I begin my push to get verified on Twitter, because Twitter was being stupid, and they verified Chase with like 2,000 followers, and I got 5X. It's ridiculous. Anyway, help me get to 10,500 Twitter followers. I'm currently at 10,483. If you're watching live and you go follow me, we will give some shout-outs, those of you who do it, at the end of this mailbag. So I'm on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. That link will be in the comments section and in the description as well. From Chiefs KC, not even a question. Chiefs go back to Super Bowl, obviously. You want me to tell you yes, so I probably will say yes. The O-line is better. If Mahomes stays healthy, KC will be a contender and a favorite every single year. From Yes Sir, I'm going to be so mad if and when Elijah Molden and or Ifeatu Melifonwo boom while Nashawn Wright busts. You and me both, brother. What are the chances Cowboys yet land Stingley or DN that went number 1 in McShay's mock draft? Low, because you're probably going to have to be drafting the top 5, and I don't think the Cowboys are drafting there in the end. For Hyper3, channel friend, do you think Fitzgerald will retire this year or next year? I think he's going to retire this year. I think he has not made a decision up yet, at least as we film this. I think in the very near future, a decision will be made. But the longer he goes, we're already in mid-May at this point, the longer he goes without a decision, the more likely it is he calls it a career. From Bill Ward, could you see Javonte Williams leading the Broncos in rushing next season? Maybe. I think at least in year 1, it will be a committee between Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams. And I still think as a first-year player, Javonte will be behind Melvin Gordon. So my expectation is that Melvin Gordon is the team's leading rusher. Javonte gets plenty of work, though. And if you're a fantasy owner, you probably hate this pick because Gordon was going to be the guy, and now he's going to split time. But make your predictions for me. Who is the Broncos' leading rusher in 2021? Type MG for Melvin Gordon, or type JW for Jonathan Williams, or type in O for somebody else. Make your votes right now in the comments section. From Mark Mulo, Tom, in your honest opinion, what will happen with Aaron Rodgers? Thanks again for your response. Mark, thank you for super chatting and for watching. I think it's dealt to the Denver Broncos. And I don't know if that is this offseason or they drag it out to next year. But Denver is the perfect landing spot right now where they have some draft picks. They could easily move on from Drew Lock, but they didn't draft somebody this past year. So I think Denver is the eventual destination for Aaron Rodgers. I think that makes a lot of sense there, and I appreciate that super chat, Mark. John S. Over-under on the Raiders going above 500 with a win-loss record. And a super chat from John. Thank you. They should be over 500. They should go like 9-8, right? They are in a pretty tough division. I've seen, again, like top 10 picks for Las Vegas. I don't think that makes sense to me. I'm going to go with over, as in they win more than just 8 games this year. So it's going to be tricky with that division, but I'll go at least 9 wins for Las Vegas this year. From James Gannon, Who do you think has the top 3 best rookie quarterback situations in this draft? I assume you mean 2021 draft. So I think Trey Lance is in the best spot. Like, he's got a fantastic offensive mind, playmakers, ground game, O-line. Trey Lance is in the best position. After that, I would like Justin Fields, but there might be a regime change there. I am worried about Urban Meyer in charge, but I'll go Jacksonville next because he's the guy. I want to put Mac Jones in there too. I think he's in a very, very good landing spot. I like the way the Jets are building around Zach Wilson, but also New York has to prove it to me. So I'm going to power rank them. Lance number 1. Oh, God, give me Mac Jones 2, even though I like him the least of those 5 guys. Then I will go Lawrence, barely ahead of Fields, barely ahead of Zach Wilson. Wasim ADH, best move for the Colts right now. Offensive tackle, receiver, who they did just get Charles Leno, or Eric Fisher, excuse me. They got Eric Fisher, so not tackle. I look at receiver. There aren't that many guys out there, so as weird as this is, I think that the Colts are just going to stand pat moving forward. From Brokov, Tyron Smith and 3/3 for Minkah Fitzpatrick. The Steelers say no. 3/3 is actually somewhat valuable, but Pittsburgh won't want Tyron because if the Cowboys are moving Tyron, that means they think he's hurt, and that's not something NFL teams are going to want to do. From Mike Dibble, hashtag NFL. Hey, Tom, besides Sheldon, or Super Chat, thank you for that, producer Jeremy. Besides the Browns, who could sign Sheldon Richardson? Or besides Richardson, what else could the Browns do? I read that bad. I think Cleveland's about done. They added a bunch of safeties. Linebacker, they added Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Corner's in great shape. Defensive line's probably fine. Edge is in good shape. They don't need a running back, a quarterback, or a receiver. Honestly, I think Cleveland's about done outside of maybe a very cheap low-end veteran guy, or maybe they go out and they add, if someone gets hurt, they can make a splash. But I think in the end, the Browns are pretty much done at this point. From Lucas Greer, who will be the Chiefs' number 2 receiver? Well, obviously, Tyreek Hill is number 1. The options then become Byron Pringle, Mecole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson, Cornell Powell, or hell, maybe Dede Westbrook. I'm going to go with Mecole Hardman here. I don't feel great about that one, but I think he's going to get the most chances leading up to the season to be that number 2 guy. Tiny Uzi Vert. Okay, toilet bowl teams in each division next. All right, let me get the list up here so I don't say something stupid. I'm going to go with the Bengals in the AFC North just because I think they're going to be the worst team in that division. The Lions in the NFC North. Give me the Cardinals in the NFC West. The Falcons. Oh, the NFC South is a tough one. I'll go Falcons, but I don't love that one there. Eagles in the NFC East. Texans in the AFC South. The Jets in the AFC East. And then I guess the Denver Broncos, unless they get Aaron Rodgers in the AFC West. Is it finally time for the Raiders to unleash Nathan Peterman? Come on, Jeremy. You got trolled on this one. The answer is absolutely no. Kyle Daughtery, does Big Ben retire after this year? I think yes. If so, who do we roll with? I don't mind Rudolph, but he reminds me of Tommy Maddox. That is a Steelers fan right there through and through. Look, I think they're going to give Rudolph the first crack. I don't think the future Steelers franchise quarterback is on this roster. In fact, I bet he's in college right now. Chiefs KC, how much longer will we have to see Tom Brady? Forever. He's going to clone himself and also become a robot and never retire. In a not flippant answer, I'd say 2 more years, over under somewhere in there. He just keeps defying logic, so I can't bet against Brady anymore. I've learned my lesson, so I say. For Hyper 3 channel friend, once again here, who do you think is the Seahawks' number 1 option at receiver, Metcalf or Lockett? I think Metcalf is now this team's number 1 guy. Lockett is still awesome. It is truly a 1A, 1B type of scenario here. But I go with DK Metcalf. That's who I think is the best and most dangerous receiver on that Seahawks team, and that's also at Lockett. I just think that highly of DK Metcalf.